Oh, all right. Thanks, guys. Yes, we are going to do a bit of a pregame interview this time because we've got a little bit of extra time. So we thought, who better to talk to than the new strategical mind on Luminosity? Again, Zeus, we spoke with you yesterday, I think it was. It might have been the day before. Yeah, it might have been Thursday. But you're going up against NaVi again, who also have a Zeus on their team, just not spelt the same way. This has been a kryptonite. Talked a little bit to Fallen about it last evening. He said he's okay with losing 6 times to them because it's been close, it's been contested, and they know that it's in them to beat them. What have you done as a coach to make sure that that is also possible?
First of all, I don't think it's okay because nobody's always happy with it. But yeah, we understand it's a new lineup and things like that. And with the old one, what I have done is I've tried just to show them that what mistakes exactly they had. And instead of us focusing on what we're doing wrong, I'm trying to see what they did wrong so with teams that beat them, like, such as TSM and things like that. I'm trying to point out the weak spots in them, not only ours. That's mostly what I've been trying to do, along with fixing especially our maps. Like, we tried Dust 2, we thought we had something good with them. Kind of hard. They're a really good Dust 2 team. Even when Garden's not on his, like, dropping 40 bombs, Flamey comes and just took us apart. But learn from it today, banned it, and try to do our best today. And maybe, who knows, 6-2 maybe?
6-2. That could be good. It could be good. I'm sure there's lots of Brazilian fans that would love to see that. The interesting thing about that is, and I have a feeling you've already said you banned it, so you know the map pool. Maybe we can get into some detail on that. I know the analysts want to talk about that as well, but that means that they left it because they knew you weren't going to play it. Fallen said last night you were likely going to avoid it. That means they almost got an automatic ban because they know you would have had to take it out, which means they're not so worried. They can take out something else, should they want to, and force another map into the pool. What maps are you playing? And specifically, how do you feel about NaVi in these maps? I guess you can just tell us what the 3 are.
Yeah, first off, I think they were pretty sure we would ban those 2 after that performance. They were expecting it. What they weren't expecting is for us to pick Cobblestone. They for sure thought we would do Inferno. Since it went to overtime, it was by little mistakes. I think it might have caught them off guard, maybe in the next interval you'll get with them. But with Cobblestone, I'm pretty confident that our team has that aggressive spirit. We're not so tactically detailed at this moment. I mean, we try to do a lot of things, but since we're new, we still lack sometimes that little team play, that little chemistry. So on a map like Cobblestone, we can probably do some things that they aren't expecting, such as that happened with DreamHack. The next map would be their pick. They pick Train. They're a really good Train team, but teams they think that since we're new, we're not good in training, like we did with Fnatic at DreamHack. They chose it. We were able to take it off them, again, because we have that explosive factor. I don't know. I think it could be fun. If it happens to go to a 3rd map, it's Mirage, if I'm not mistaken. Mirage, that's been the go-to Brazilian map, I guess. I didn't think they would go that way. They respect us. I know they're really good on it, that's for sure. They can bring that double op setup and try to peak things, but we just have, like, I guess, a natural chemistry in Mirage. Let's see. If it gets to that far, I'm pretty confident with us.
The prospect of Mirage between you two is like already really tantalizing to me because when you guys came onto the scene way back at X Games, or I guess obviously you weren't involved then, you were still involved in the Brazilian scene. I'm sure you were still familiar with them. They used that wall of smoke down the middle of the site, which was NaVi's tactic from before. And already you guys have similarities in your play style. That map could be really fun to watch, I think. You may have jinxed yourself, though. You said the next interview I have with them, I'm not doing loser interviews today, so you better hope I don't have another interview with them. Inferno not in the pool, though, but you said Train is. Did you look at perhaps TSM or TQM's model yesterday on how they took down NaVi, the forward positioning? Is there anything specific you guys referenced off of that?
I think, yeah. I mean, the other teams, like NaVi, since we've never beaten them, it's not that they don't respect us, but they kind of don't in some of the play aspects. They'll try to take the early picks and things like that. Things which in the first day we didn't do. We respected them too much. They deserve respect, but not in game. We need to just focus on ourselves. We need to try and win, not lose, so to say. So I think that today is going to be a whole different game, at least tactical-wise. If we are to lose, lose trying, not to lose that way. That was sad.
FNX, Taco, both new to the team. FNX yesterday, Fallen made sure that he made good note of him in the interview, that he was on fire on Overpass, another map that could have potentially been brought into this between you two teams. Taco, though. FNX obviously cold and fur. They've been on. Taco has been really good at times and then a little bit less consistent. Specifically referencing him, how does he have to play in these 3 maps?
Taco's rolling game, he's the entry killer. It's hard for you to see an entry killer that's going to drop 30 bombs, especially since he's that first line of offense. He's going to take that bullet for the team. He can do better, that's for sure. He knows it, but he hasn't been doing bad, so to say, because he's done his role. He's gotten that entry. He takes the guy's aim off so the rest of us can do it. If he gets that extra early kill, that's just easier for us to take the round dominantly, so to say, instead of in a close situation. He's a really good player. He's an upcoming talent. People in Brazil like to call him a diamond in the rough. So if we can perfect him, I'm sure that our team's going to be pretty unstoppable pretty soon, man.
Yeah, it's interesting you say, too, that he's willing to take that bullet, because sometimes entry fraggers and some teams, TSM's been noted for this, that sometimes they aren't willing to push through the smokes. They aren't willing to take the sacrifice, so even then you get the trade kill. You guys are in. Now, what about pace of this game? Because the last time you guys did play NaVi, you tried to speed things up a little bit. It almost did catch them off guard, and as well as CLG yesterday, you guys sped things up and started pushing through smokes, even on Inferno. Is that something that you guys have considered as well, potentially against NaVi?
Yeah, change of style is something that we're trying to balance out a lot. First off, while they had those one-map upsets, we got really known because we had that methodical, slow play style. It's good to have that way, but now we're a really more skilled team. So we can change it up a bit and try to have those more envious sort of explosive type of rounds and just go in for the kill and don't worry about it. If you happen to die, it's okay sometimes. Depends on the feeling of the game. We're going to do a mix of it. I'm not going to say we're going to do only explosive, but you should see us going pretty good against them, I guess. And as for just complimenting on the taco thing, it's not willingness to go in and take the first bullet, so to say. It's not only him, because if, like Fallen said yesterday in an interview, Fur, he's like a star player, right? Everyone in this team, that's why I think we're going to have such good chemistry. We're not scared to take the bullet for the other player. Nobody wants to shine brighter than the rest. This is the first time that, in my opinion, Fallen has had a team where he doesn't have to do those miracle one-round kills every time. He has that load off his back along with everyone else. So I think our team you're gonna have one map FNX killing a lot, the other one Taco, the other one Cold Zero as always. So it's a fun roster, man. That's for sure.
It is exciting, very exciting. I think DreamHack Winter proved that, and like Fallen said yesterday as well, his mind may never stop, but now he's also got you to help support that in-game leading, give him a little more freedom. It's been a pleasure. I think the stage is ready, so we won't delay any further, as always, and I hope we get to talk more in the future, because you're very insightful and give us a ton of information to work with, which I'm sure the guys we're going to speak with now very much appreciate. Alex, it's over to you.
Great interview there, Sadakist and Zeus talking. It's kind of Zeus v Zeus. We'll be seeing how much that new in-game leadership, coach can provide for Luminosity. Already seeing good things from them. I'm not alone though, and I've got some friendly faces. Anders, you have kind of risen from the dead.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, man?
Pretty good, actually. I took a lot of pills, and I slept for 14 hours, and now I feel better. So
that was it.
Good thing casters don't get tested.
That's all I needed. Yeah, exactly. That's I'm thankful for that right now. Yeah, but it's good. No, I mean, so I don't know what happened, but I got wrecked, and then
you got wrecked.
Spent a day in the hotel room watching UFC and looking at
and
Overpass.
you mean watching the games, right? You're up to date completely.
I could do both. I had a TV and a laptop. So
right. Okay. Phew.
Not the worst place to be sick, really, but yeah, I feel much better now. I don't know what happened.
Awesome. Fantastic to have you back. And going into this one, then, it's going to be Luminosity up against NaVi. We all described it as a rivalry, boys. What's your initial thoughts when you come into this one, Anders?
Always a fun matchup between these two teams. They've got very similar styles, so it'll be interesting. And I mean, I don't know. NaVi just seem like a very good team right now. I feel like Flamey's had some very good games already in this tournament, and I'm excited to see if he could do more. He's such a young player, and I think Flamey's one of the sort of the positionally most intelligent players that we have right now. So I look forward to seeing more from him. Always, I want to see if Guardian can sort of come back into it as well, though. I feel like if those two players step it up, then it's going to be a really hard game for LG.
Yeah. It's the same point we keep coming back to for NaVi, because it really does seem to hang in the balance between Guardian +1. Flamey has been that +1 at this event. He was it's so instrumental, top of the scoreboard yesterday in their games. And I mean, I feel like it's a bit early to talk about the veto, but I think there's a lot to be discussed around this one. So I wouldn't mind bringing it up right now, because Sean, I'd like to kind of pick your brains about this veto. And I mean, the first two bans make sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. LG realized after the first time playing NaVi that they can't pick Dust 2 again. They can't leave that in the map pool for NaVi to choose, so they have to veto Dust 2. Unfortunately, that leaves Train still in the mix, which NaVi are still heavy favorites on. NaVi has a fantastic Train. Despite some recent struggles on the map, I still place them in top 3 in the world on the map. They have a very good slow default where they split the outside bomb site from all the angles. Guardian switches up his angles, whether it be like the Ivy area, middle, going towards the inner, going ladder. He's always in a new spot, and they're just very good at breaking the other team's money on that map.
Just quickly before we carry on going, you're saying they're a top 3 on train. Who else are you kind of putting in that list as a train team?
Ooh,
Like
I would
your
definitely
TQM?
put Virtus Pro is definitely probably the best team right now, and yeah, I guess TQM is up there too.
Yeah.
Even though what's weird is like,
Yeah.
Well, we
They
kind
don't
of
really-
we
they don't
delved
really
into that
play it.
earlier.
Yeah, they don't really play it that much, but
But they get wins on
they're
it.
actually really good on it.
Okay,
I think for me it's
interesting.
like a mental thing for TQM. They're just like, if we keep saying we're bad on it, guys, we're just going to keep being good on it. So don't say we're good on it.
Exactly.
Right? Like, we're really
mean,
bad on this map. We're just really horrible on it. Like,
A team that should be very good on that map should probably be Envy.
Yeah.
Because it allows for such fast play on
Yeah.
the T side, and that's
Yeah.
what Envy love doing. I don't know if they just haven't figured it out yet that it's possible,
Yeah.
but it is possible to play very fast on T side train.
Yeah. Well, I think that the teams that are the best on train are the teams that do slow splits on the outside while draining the team's nades with weird smokes and peaks early rounds outside. So Virtus Pro does it by smoking off the E-box area and smoking off, we call it speedway, when you go right out middle.
train?
Yeah, they smoke both those spots off. So that way the CGs can't get any information, and they have to use counter Molotovs, counter nades, even though no one's out. So that way it opens up late hits where it's 5 versus 3 on the outside bomb site. And that's what NaVi does. NaVi does a great job of doing that. And it's the same thing they do on all the maps, Inferno, Dust 2, where they just spread you out, make you use all your grenades, and then they split a site with heavy numbers.
And a map you can't do that so easily is Cbble. I'd love to talk about our first map because, of course, we'll have opportunities to dig further into train. And the final map, which I've just
Mirage.
completely spaced on, Mirage.
Mirage,
Thank
yeah.
you so much. Yes, we'll talk about them a little further. But
Yeah.
Cbble, haven't touched too much on that one. And an interesting choice from Luminosity. I say interesting. Was that? Would you have expected that one, Anders, when you look at that?
Yeah, I think it's not unreasonable. They showed some creativity in the past. We were just talking about it before we went live. He had a cool split that they did through drop and into A instead of running B. Because typically, if you run drop, you're going to be going to the B bomb site by plateau, so you're going to be sandwiching that bomb site. But yeah, LG had some good strats like that. FNX is FNX is very strong on every map. It seems, but he's been having some good performances on this map in the past. And I think it's a good map for a number of reasons for a team like LG, especially if they're playing against NaVi. Because I mean, once you figure out where Guardian plays, then I think you can try and zone him out. And if Guardian is going to be a huge factor, because the problem is with Cobblestone, you kind of have to have more or less 4 people at either at B or close to B. So then, if one of those 4 people is Guardian and you hit somewhere else, I mean, you stand a pretty good chance. I think this can work.
You made that point, didn't you, Sean, before?
I think what Anders says is so true. NaVi isn't a good team on Cobblestone. Guardian's a great player on Cobblestone, which makes them a good team on Cobblestone. And shutting out Guardian will be the key to Luminosity winning that map.
Excuse you, you're right.
sorry. I don't have a cough button.
He's allergic
so you guys
to
are all
great
good.
analysis.
Anders is just passing it along. I'm next.
Yeah, you are. Were you patient zero? Because people are starting to feel a little under the weather here. I think we was.
This is DreamHack Winter
I'm
hanging
not
in
happy
here.
about this.
This came from Sweden and from Fragbite. I'm serious. There was so
Oh,
many
it's
people
got
that,
between us.
and everyone said this is what everyone told me. They said, "I've been sick, but I'm feeling fine now, so don't worry." And then obviously that wasn't true. So I think so. Actually, here's how it works.
Okay.
This is what the
Ooh, he's
Muslim
throwing
told
you
me.
under the
You were
bus.
in an office with the Muslim,
Yeah.
and you were having like a bit of the sniffles.
Yeah.
And then Ben got it, and I think he passed it on to me, and then it traveled all the way to the States. What is this?
water.
I mean,
The thing
as if
is-
NACS wasn't like already struggling enough. Now we're
to
also
save
worried.
myself. To save myself, right? Okay, yeah, I'll let the jab in. But to save myself with Ben is an idiot, dude. He walks home 15 minutes in like 0-degree weather in like just a hoodie and a t-shirt. I'm just like, yeah, you're gonna get sick.
There are
Don't
some
blame it on
people that
me.
are just like
Right.
immune to that, though.
The last thing I think that needs to be brought up tactically for Luminosity, at least going into Cobblestone, is their B execute. They have a very solid, default B execute, smokes, Molotovs, flashes, all that
What,
sort
like
of thing.
wall of smoke?
And this is how they had so much success on DreamHack Winter, is that they turned it into a game of chicken. So Fallen, he basically says, we're going to go B every single round, and we're just going to change up the timing of the hit. So it's just a few seconds. Maybe it's really fast. Maybe they sit there and wait, and they do it 30 seconds later. But that B execute is always coming. And then he's basically turning it into this game of chicken of like, when am I going to go A? And then it's that connector split that comes out, and boom, he gets in there. And then they just go right back to B again. And so they're so good at hitting that B execute that it makes it really difficult for their opponents to judge when they should have 2 players on A, or if they should be trying to shift back over there again, right? So So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. I'm curious to see if they've managed to have time to develop a little bit more, or if they're going to still be trying to go for that game of chicken over here.
Well, let's talk tactics, of course, masterminded by Fallen and co. What's the counterplay to that? You're suggesting they've got this B default. I mean, I'd love to know kind of what's the mindset of someone that's kind of could be playing against that. The wall of smokes are coming in. You know the plateau control's being fought for. What's the call you make, Sean?
Well, you have to start with playing 4 people towards B and having early information gotten from your A player. So whether he be playing at the end of A halls or close mid, looking over a smoke, you need to be heavily playing the B bomb site, or you have to play 2 at the A bomb site, but 1's on a fast flank.
Right.
Because
style.
it's extremely hard to stop that B execute with only 3 people splitting drop and upper. And NaVi knows that. I mean, NaVi's experienced all the strats on Cbble, especially because they play on Virtus Pro, Envious, and Fnatic on Cbble. Pretty much every best of 3 they play against them. So
I mean, that fast flank as well. Is he coming down drop, or is he going like all the way down plateau and just coming out late?
Well, we kept seeing Apex try to do that yesterday, right? When they played Cbble.
Oh, the
the
drop flip?
underpass into just straight up into the halls to try and get into plateau quick behind, right?
Yeah.
That's like Apex is trying to do that every round almost.
Mid, yeah.
Okay, so we've got some like high expectations for both teams, it seems, on this one. We did just look at the Luminosity roster. We should look at NaVi's as well, as if you don't know those names by now.
I do think that the A bomb site on Cobblestone is underutilized from a terrorist point of view. I think people forget that you can plant really far up in the bomb site. Like everyone always wants to get in and plant in like a safe and default position, but actually you can plant in front of the hut. You can plant there, and you're covered by SWAT truck, and you're covered from, you can't be shot from the door either. There are so many angles you can't reach there. So I'm quite sure that A bomb side has a lot more to go for it.
You and your plant spot.
Speaking of the A bomb site though, I think we were briefly touching on the Luminosity strat, but they threw a wall of smoke in the A bomb site that cuts off the right side. Yeah. Where normally the Ts would exit out the halls and go towards the site behind the wall of smoke. But they actually backed out, went down the middle stairs, and went into the connector, which is something I had never seen before. And they won the round. It was one of the most absurd strats I've ever seen.
I think all of us were just like, what?
What was that? It was awesome. And that, for them to pull that off as a new team was incredible to me. I couldn't believe my eyes that this team was formed a week ago and ran that strat.
They've always been quite like a strategy-heavy team, haven't they? Like at their core, like way back when, their Mirage was like famed for this kind of like the smokes that they were throwing, the executes they were presenting, and it's kind of grown and developed from there.
Well, that's why it's so fun to watch both of these teams clash. I think that's why it's such a joy that they've developed a rivalry,
right?
Because they do share a similar style in that, as Sean has already pointed out on Train for Navino, they have this they have a very tactical way of approaching the map. They want to drain their opponents. Luminosity is the same sort of thing, where it's just like they have their strats that they want to run. It's not exactly playing, I guess, to the meta, where it's just like, actually, we're just going to brute force our way into the site every time with just great aim, right? I mean, FNX has that. You know, Fallen, Taco, like these guys have that, but there's another level to it.
I'd be very interested to know if Luminosity have anyone who's helping them out on the strategy side with like watching demos and stuff like that.
Zeus, right?
Zeus, yeah.
Yeah, Zeus the only one, but I mean, if they have more than that.
On
Yeah,
that.
an analyst,
Okay,
yeah.
They're back behind the scenes kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, obviously there's Starix, and I mean Zeus as an in-game, as a sort of like a former in-game leader, captain, whatever of the team has been doing it for so long that I feel like between Starix and Zeus, it's going to be incredible. Like the amount of sort of combined experience just between those two players is going to be hard for anyone to stack up against.
August, you were bringing up the same kind of thing on the Brazilian side of things with their Microsoft Paint strategy. They've definitely got that kind of duo between the two brains, but is better than one kind of mindset coming into this.
And what's really refreshing to see is that it seems like Fallen, like they can have a back and forth. It's not just like, you know, Fallen calls it and that's the way it is. We saw a timeout yesterday, a key timeout, where Zeus, you know, Fallen talks for the first like 15, 20 seconds, but then Zeus starts to talk and then it turns into a discussion. And then it seems like they can have a bit of a back and forth. It's not just like, you know, he's there for, you know, watch demos and tell us what they do in pistols.
The respect is there.
Yeah.
That's the point we were going to keep coming back to again when it comes to coaches and how, you know, instrumental you can be in a team. You got respect, you've got yourself a chance. Individually wise, I noticed there was quite a big discussion, lengthy discussion between Sadikist and Zeus surrounding Taco, talking about him as an entry fragger and suggesting...
What? Who was that?
Oh, you guys are going to bully me for this. Taco. Taco, that's how you say it.
Taco.
Taco.
No.
Like tar.
Taco.
Yeah,
like as in T-A-R.
Yeah.
Taco.
Taco.
Well, not really an R, but yeah, go with it.
The entirety of the studio just laughed at me. What? Taco. Taco?
What a brilliant segment.
This is great. That was perfect.
Is that good?
This is how far we've gone down.
Thank you. Okay, I think I nailed that. I wanted to talk about Taco. Oh, I've done it again. I'm just gonna, this is me.
It's a work in progress. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We'll get it. We'll get it soon
So
enough.
we're not going to talk about him anymore because I've embarrassed myself. Let's do predictions, guys. Just for map 1, it's going to be Cbble. Anders, what are you talking?
I think LG got this. I think it's going to be a close game, but I want to give it to them. Yeah, I think the amount of creativity they've got. I think they're dialed in on zoning out Guardian, and that's never easy because he's so good. But I think they can manage it. Yeah, player to watch for on this side. I'm gonna have to go with FNX.
Okay.
Yeah.
You agree with your partner in crime, August?
Man,
I
I want to say
you just got into another
Luminosity.
world.
I
What
want
was
to
that?
see Luminosity win this first map, but I think I'm going to go with NaVi
Okay.
because
Tough.
and it's odd because Guardian's usually like Anders is usually the hero of Guardian,
Yeah,
right? They'll
that's
defend
true.
him to the last, but
Is it a coin flip moment though?
Guardian
Like,
and
give me-
Flamey.
Like how close are you two?
If Flamey shows up at the same kind of level, because it's always that question of hot and cold with Flamey, you know, is he here or not? If he's here tomorrow and Guardian keeps playing at this level, I think that it's going to be really tough for LG. So I'm going to go with NaVi for Cobblestone.
Okay. And Sean.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them to beat NaVi with Guardian on the loose. I know Fallen's his kind of counter right there.
Man, it's hard to say, right?
Yeah, it's a really tough matchup.
Yeah.
I think with maybe a couple more weeks practice, I would definitely give the edge to LG, but for this one, I'm going to go NaVi.
Okay, 2-1 then. You guys have it's basically given the advice to the Brazilians to shut down Guardian. You may be able to pick up Cbble. That's going to be our final word for now, because there's other people that need to start talking. It's going to be your casting duo for this one. It's Blue and for Flaren. Guys, what are your thoughts?
All right. Thank you very much, Machine. And indeed, welcome over here to the Casters Desk once again. My name is Blue. Joining me here today is Flaren. And we're about to get started with this best-of-3 set between Luminosity Gaming and NaVi. How are we feeling about this one?
Good. It's one of the better matchups today, actually. And I'm excited to see if Luminosity can, at least get a map.
Yeah, that's going to be the big question, of course, because this is the rematch coming up from the earlier portion of the group we saw. Unfortunately, LG getting very, very close indeed, and we have the two coaches on the screen, by the way, now, for you guys to check that one out. We saw them getting very close to, at the very least, taking that one map. I believe it was on Inferno, which almost went to overtime, but they were not able to accomplish it. Luminosity, though, bouncing back yesterday in their big victory versus CLG, and as for NaVi, bouncing down from the upper portion of the group. So now these two are going to meet, and this was really, I think when the groups first came out, this was sort of the big question to see who was going to make it out. Was it going to have the full European roster, all 4 of the top 4 European teams, or was at least one of the teams from North America, and the most likely one out of all of them that finally breaks through and gives America, quote-unquote, a chance at something here in this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I noted as well when I was on the couch before is that I'm hoping that we won't see the Dust 2 Inferno again. And here you go. I mean, we have Cobblestone and Train being played. Third map, obviously, Mirage. So I think this is going to be a very good series. I'm hoping that Luminosity will pick up Cobblestone. I don't think they stand a chance on Train. And then Mirage, I think, it's a very good map for both of the teams.
Yeah, I mean, the desk back over there, the couch rather, was talking about some of the individual performances. Guardian, of course, is no question, is going to come out as a big all-star here for the guys on NaVi. And then as well, Flamey, probably some good prospects for him. As we are taking a look at the knife round, by the way, looks like the guys on NaVi are going to win it, but just trying to close it out as their box. They're actually fairly low, so if Fallen kind of came in swinging with the left clicks, he could win it out. But we'll get the result of this in a second.
Love it when they do this.
Fallen is
so fun.
Fallen doesn't seem to want to fight.
Yeah. And, I mean, we do have a quite significant round time, so I think we'll be here for a while.
This is truly a Mexican standoff. We're missing some R8s, though.
Yes.
They can't draw, so.
Oh, God, come on.
Fallen, he's going to go in for it now. And gets
Oh, he
one.
didn't get stabbed. He might win this. He's going to win this. He won this.
He's got it. So there we go. He's going to clutch it out in 1 versus 3 on the knife round. And Luminosity are going to get their side choice to start things off here on Cbble.
Yeah, and I mean, Cobblestone is a very even map, but Luminosity will end up picking the seed side anyway. I don't think it really matters in this matchup. Really, you do have 2 strong offers, obviously Guardian being the better one if you just compare Guardian to Fallen. But I think this will very much so rely on these 2 offers. Whether or not, I mean, we saw, there's a famous clip already, right, with Fallen opping on this map, where no scope through the smoke, through the wall, ends up killing someone. So we actually have seen Luminosity on this map before. It's obviously their map pick as well. I don't know if that was with the old lineup. I don't know if have we seen Cobblestone with this new lineup?
I think we may have seen it once or twice back at DreamHack Winter, but not.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Not in a very large prospect, obviously. DreamHack Winter has been really the only big tournament where they've had a chance to play it out. But we are getting started now, guys, here into the pistol round. So let's take a look. LG indeed starting off on the CT side and for NaVi, taking a very quick route to get themselves back over here onto Plateau and go for a quick takeover towards the B site. Moving out towards it, Guardian. He's going to lead the charge. Can't find anything from LG just as of yet, but he does take out the first shot there, dropping FNX, and now pressing forward for some more. They get drop control as well. Very dangerous now as LG are being fallen out of the site. However, Cold, he's going to be able to grab 2 frags from inside, dropping both Flamey and Guardian. Sees looking for more inside, but now he's trapped. There has to be very, very careful about it. Zeus trying to finally open up another hole. Now there's Edward getting a piece of the action too. They box the members of Luminosity out. One's going to fall, and now it's just Cold. He's stuck back here behind Chicken Coop. He's got some of the players on NaVi low, but unfortunately still a very hard situation for him to clutch out.
Very nade heavy Luminosity there. Just NaVi just taking the better of him. Hey, it does end in game 1, but yeah, when you have NaVi just rushing the B bomb side and you have only 2 members from Luminosity with armor, everyone else was just focusing on nades. NaVi, I mean, rushing Glocks, right?
Yeah.
You needed to get that entry. It didn't really happen. Cold tried to make the best of it, but NaVi ends up securing the pistol round.
So LG, however, aren't going to take this without a response. Fallen is actually going to invest in the Mag 7 this time, and the rest just go for the usual upgrades. We see a couple CZs, P250s, and whatnot coming into the mix. Taco actually has to, I believe, toss over the Mag 7 towards Fallen so we can have armor behind it. He's probably going to be taking up that position back over here. Actually, looks like he's standing near Broken Wall, so he's going to be sitting out here. But Edward is going to take the long path around and is going to look for anybody that might try to investigate towards him. So looking for those early pickups. As the rest of the team now here on NaVi can just line up for the same basic type of strat, but a little bit more emphasis on drop coming in this time around.
Yeah, for Fallen, he actually didn't spot Edward at all. You see here, he get a free win. Oh!
Scratch that as he's digged back down now to about a very low amount of HP, sitting down at 15 now. And NaVi struggling to make that progress, actually, as they're really completely unsure as to where Luminosity Gaming are moving in from just as of yet. But now the action's going to get started here. LG picking up some good frags, actually. Flamey finding 2. Guardian looking for some more back over here again at the Broken Wall Plateau, but not able to pick anything up. And it's going to be Seas that wraps out through drop there, picks up 2 more. He's looking to finish off the final one, which is going to be Furt working his way in through CT main. They haven't spotted him just as of yet. But now as he sneaks out there, getting some good taps on a Guardian, but not going to be enough to take him down. He actually does take down C, so he has a chance at this, but still, that rifle is going to be very hard to get past at this point now that he's been spotted.
Very slow and methodical pace from NaVi, and Fer playing it really smart.
And he's going to be able to clutch that out there. Huge play from Fur. He shuts it down. And Luminosity, they're going to be able to pick up an immediate response to this one, tying things up now at 1 round each.
Yeah, it looked to me when Edward actually walked out there the first time that he got team damaged from the headshot, but it might have just been Luminosity member just peeking it to try and help Fallen out. But yeah, great eco from Luminosity. Fer playing it very smart. He knew that one guy was on site and he knew that one guy was close to the drop zone. Took a gamble there, not really peeking behind him because you never knew if Zeus would just try and flank him. Took that angle, managed to kill him, 1-on-2 with his Z-Zed. Yeah, great job. They're back in the game. And
it's going to be the same situation from NaVi as they cannot let their opponents get a lead here on the CT side. They're immediately going to go for the reinvestment, and they have that AK still sitting on Flamey, so something to work with as they forge their way in. And it's basically the same straightforward strat, too. All players moving out, but they don't even notice that Fallen is sitting right down there. However, Flamey, he's able to correct that. He picks up the headshot on a Fallen, but there's still responses coming in there from Luminosity. They pick up the final kills, and now they're going to take control of the early portion of this map.
Yeah, great hold by Luminosity. Fallen getting 2 with the Mag 7. Doesn't really matter if he goes down because he will have plenty of money moving into the next round because he obviously knows as well that NaVi will be saving. They took a gamble, didn't really pay off. We'll see another he actually falls by us again. Not really needed, I'd say. I mean, I don't mind buying the full armor and maybe the nades, but the Mag 7, you don't really need that. Just save for the op.
So he's going to fall back for now. And again, Luminosity is starting to spread out a little bit more. And same thing for NaVi as they take a little bit more of an interest in their strats and potentially trying to exercise things a little bit closer over here towards middle and over towards that A side as well. But Fallen, he's still going to take up a very close position with that Mag 7, trying to stack up the cash. And Guardian maybe peeking him in a second. Could catch him with the nade out, but the nade's actually going to roll over towards Guardian. And it indeed brings them down to about 65 HP. Still looking for a way inside, but the rest of his team, they're pushing down A long right now, and it's going to be Fur that has to try and hold this, but as Guardian walks inside there of the mid connector, he's going to get shut down pretty quickly. Fur here too. Surprise initially, so he does give them a little bit of room to breathe, as I think he knows there's going to be a big push coming through this avenue, but as his players start to rush out, he'll be flashed once again, now holding towards Alley, giving them more and more room. This is going to get a bit dangerous, because now Fallen has to perform down inside there too. He only picks up one. Both Flamey and C's are going to find 2 additional kills now.
Good job by NaVi so far. It is just an eco round. They have P250s and now picking up 1 AK and one Mag 7. They have full control almost of the A bomb side. Yeah, but you actually do see the rotate in the NaVi or Luminosity just.
They have no clue this is happening right now. So they've all thought that this is still going to be a full commitment to the A-bomb site. And they're going to get the horrible realization of this in a second. It'll be Taco and Cold trying to hold things off, but now they have literally no pressure on this site at all. They have to wrap back, and both, to a certain degree, are coming in from the same angle as well. So if they even attempt this now, it's going to be very, very rough. They've only got 2 flashbangs to make this work. So Cold looking for a way in. He does have Edward kind of boxed behind the statue, but with support nearby from both Seized and Flamey, it could still be a very, very easy shutdown indeed. And there's going to be Flamey picking up the first frag there, shuts down Taco. Cold's stuck in this site too. Edward tries to get aggressive. That's going to end up being a mistake because he's dropped, but now Cold, he's basically boxed in. He can't even run out through CT man anymore. He's going to run right into Flamey, and NaVi will once again find the response against their opponents here on the CT side to tie it up.
Yeah, and that's the dangerous part. I'm not going to put the blame all on Fallen, but when you buy a Mag 7, you want to go aggressive, right? And what happens is that when you have NaVi fully saved, just P250s, they want those tools, because yeah, you end up getting 1 frag, right? But then all of a sudden they come out from the hallway, just wrecks Fur completely. Fallen ends up going down. You have AK, you get to give him an AK and a Mag 7, and then for the Luminosity members, obviously they have to rotate, right? Leaving B all alone or all open for NaVi to plant and eventually just win the round.
Now we've got this counter boost to a certain degree coming in from FNX. He does have to give it up because there's a lot of counter pressure coming in from NaVi, but Fur actually getting an angle to work against these players. Misses the shot though and has to fall back, but actually managing to escape without taking any damage at all. But he's got to be careful of Zeus sitting very close by, wraps around it, and Zeus, he's not going to go for the peak just as of yet, so he is able to escape behind this for now. And Fallen will also be nearby to assist. That Mag 7 still in play for him, as now NaVi's starting to make a little bit of progress to get themselves closer and closer towards that A site. Still relying on 2 from LG to hold it, and no rotations coming off just as of yet, despite Fur picking up this first kill, sitting just outside of the CT main entryway there, outside of the site connector, dropping Guardian and slowing down NaVi to a certain degree. But they're committed to this now, working their way out. Edward and Zeus are ready to move their way back in here against Fallen, but do they know that the shotgun's sitting here? There's another pickup from him, trying to get the second one, missing that shot. That's going to shut him down. Z's picking up an additional frag now for the guys on NaVi, starting to make progress towards the site, but these wraps are coming in quickly enough from Luminosity Gaming. However, they still don't actually know that this is going to be a full commitment towards this site just as of yet, and that bomb is going right past them now. Taco, he has to try and take a risk on this and press back, otherwise bombs get on the site, but Fur, he's sitting back over here by the barrels. He grabs that first one, tossing his pistol out to hold these players back. Flamey, he's going for the sneak play, but it may not work. Thankfully, he's going to grab that shot on the Fur, takes him down. Cold coming in for the response, and now this is brought down to a 1 versus 1. Only 13 seconds left on the clock, and Edward with only 30 HP. This is going to be so hard for him to clutch back out. He will be able to get the plant, but the health pool disadvantage is going to be working against him, and all this forward momentum progress made by Cold just lines up the shot. He shuts it down, and Luminosity Gaming once again take the lead away.
Jesus Christ, Blue, take a breath. Even I'm short of breath after that round. Damn, that was like a full, like all in full minutes.
I don't know when you want to chime in, man. You gotta tap on the desk when you want to say something. You seem kind of quiet when I stop talking.
I was like, I just want to know. I just want to see how far this can go, and that was insane. Okay, that was insane. Okay. Let's take a deep breath here now.
All right.
I have nothing else to say.
So for Luminosity now, they're going to hold the lead, and NaVi actually going for a bit of a force. They do finally manage to get the op into the hands of Guardian, but look at this lineup from him, finding that first kill. And the player he shuts down is just perfect, too, because he finds Guardian sitting perched atop a rock there, and he's already going to pick up that kill. So the impact of NaVi has already gone down significantly just a couple of seconds into the round.
Did they have 2 ops, or did Zeus just instantly pick up
Zeus picked
Guardian?
up Guardians, I believe.
Okay. I would rather see the op, actually, on Flamey in this one. You have C's there. C's doing a good job. He's obviously, if they end up getting Fur, then we'll just see the A hit where C's just falls back and just tries to kill them from drop zone when they rotate over. Now it's in, I mean, NaVi is in very bad shape right now. Yeah, you do still have the op up on Edward. Nates on everyone, 4-on-3 situation, and they have nothing. C's just chilling in drop zone, and for Fallen here, I think, again, Fallen with the Mag 7, he's going to have a great time here if NaVi just ends up going out.
been consistently running into that issue so far here, as Fallen, for the most part, has been able to pick up numerous frags with this mag, so that's probably part of the reason he's been sticking with it to a certain degree. However, he's going to get spotted a little bit early this time because there's not smoke coverage sitting back over here by the broken wall, so it's going to be a much slower approach trying to take him down initially, but he holds a good range. It's not going to be close enough, however, and both Edward and C's find their opening peaks there. So FNX actually makes a mistake because he jumps, and that's going to kill his inaccuracy, but finally Taco and Cold coming in with some pickups from the side of Luminosity. It leaves it down to a 1 versus 1, and both of these players are very low, but Flamey, he's on a timer here, only 10 seconds left. He's got a good position, but this is what killed them last time here, as this allowed Cold to make so much forward momentum, and he was just able to close it out with a perfect lineup. However, this time, Cold's in a disadvantage on the health pool there, so looking for that tap, trying to line it. He does spot him on the right side of the statue there, but Flamey sitting back as well, looking for it, and he's going to be the one to finish off the 1 versus 1 this time. NaVi again picking up an additional round here and keeping it very, very close. So far, both teams at 3 rounds.
Yeah. Luminosity, I forget which member it was actually on the B bomb side. He ends up jumping in a very awkward time there. Yeah, it was FNX. Yeah, he ends up jumping, and then you see, C's coming out of drop zone. He ends up going down and falling. He actually hit the shot on Edward, but it actually didn't kill him. So shame for Luminosity. They had it in the bag. I feel like we had a quick pause because I think that Zeus was just restarting his game for a second, but we are on pause already. So.
It's going to be unpaused, so as we head right back into it. And the unfortunate thing for Fallen, it seems too, is that it was basically the matter of he'd been spotted early, so he wanted to try and hold a more unorthodox position against his opponents. He can't go to the other side of broken wall because then it's going to be too easy for Edward to spot him and take him down. But he just goes at range, and it's like literally just out of range to where he would have found the kill with that shotgun shot. And that round could have gone a completely different direction had he picked up the first one. However, Luminosity on the CT side, Fur getting ultra aggressive here at the beginning of this round. He gets a good amount of intel, but unfortunately only going to be able to pick up 1 kill and he dies. And not just this, but Flamey catching Fallen through the smoke. That's going to be a second one now that goes in the terrorist direction.
See if Golden can do something here.
Nope. Zeus is going to be able to pick that one up, and now him and Edward making some good progress here. Flamey, though, getting caught off guard a little bit. Mid-reload, Taco is going to be able to take down another member of NaVi. Unfortunately, again, while all this has been going on, NaVi already took full control of the A-bomb site. And the final 2 here on Luminosity, they're probably just going to go for some pickups and look for a save. There's not a whole lot they can do to re-enter at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Taco, he has the defuse kit and he's already in T-spawn with the AK. Smart decision here, just saving. And for FNX, he only has the C set, so he obviously wants to try and get a kill here.
They'll be looking for that now, just trying to line something up on the A-bomb site. However, NaVi have sort of had the same thought pattern to look to take down the players that may have picked up the AKs that they dropped somewhere inside of the B halls and whatnot. So they'll be looking for him. But Taco is in probably one of the safest positions he can be in right now, just sitting way up on top of the tower. He finds one. Guardian, in the meantime, did end up taking down FNX, so they stopped him from finding anything. But some good damage has been done here at the very least by Luminosity on pretty much a full eco round as they drop 3 out of 5 of the players.
Yeah, keeping NaVi's economy to a minimum. Obviously, they do have a lot of money, but Guardian ends up picking up the AK anyway. And we are doing. I mean, look at Luminosity's money here. For Taco, his whole job is basically just to try and kill as many NaVi members as possible. Again, just making sure that NaVi won't probably have enough money to actually give Guardian an op.
So taking a look now at NaVi, and how they're going to press themselves forward here on this round, moving a lot of players back over towards a long approach. We can see that Luminosity have actually switched up this time, and they're going to take a risk on stacking 4 players over here towards the B site to hold it, but this is going to be very misplaced because already Fur's gone down. That was the only player they had to defend A, so they're going to have to rotate some more off, but they're going to be coming in a little bit late to get into an impactful position here. They're trying to get themselves into a good spot, but already moving in to take control. Edward's trying to investigate a little bit here, and one player trying to see exactly who that is that's moved himself in. I think that's Fallen that places himself just below balcony. So they have some resistance, but I mean ultimately they're just going to get ripped apart here from NaVi. They already basically have like base camp, and now they're just moving up from that one. FNX actually swipes 1 away, but at the end of the day, it's not going to matter as Taco, he's already moving back again to try and go for that save.
Yeah, I mean, they have nothing. Like you're saying, Taco is just save the AK here. You have AK, defuse kit, and full armor, so that's a lot of money if you were to actually end up dying that you could just potentially end up saving. As for NaVi, I mean, this is great for Guardian because you see Zeus actually has 4 grand here right now, so since Flamey died, Guardian can just drop his AK to Flamey and then just get an up drop from Edward, so we will see probably most most likely an up here coming in from Guardian.
Taco's going to take a risk at the end of the round. LG, they're going to go for the buy in this next one anyway, so it's not a huge deal. He loses that AK, and again, drops another player from the side of NaVi. So this is, as you were mentioning before, still going to keep the economy fairly weak. We're still looking at C sitting on a Galil, but that has not stopped him. Actually, apologies, for Flamey at least now. This has not been stopping some of the members of NaVi from impacting at all. So he's currently sitting at 15-6, whereas the rest of his teammates are sitting down, I think, like a maximum of 6 kills beyond that. Yeah, Edward's down at 6. Guardian, unfortunately, hasn't been able to perform very well at all, actually, because it's been a little bit hard for him to pick up the op, because LG have been doing such a good job of keeping the money low enough here. But finally, they're going to get the guns into their hands on the CT side. They'll be very limited on utility. However, at the same time on NaVi, they as well have gotten themselves finally up to a semi-decent point, and Guardian has the op, along with a lot of other things to go with it here from the utility perspective.
Yeah, like I said, Guardian actually getting dropped the op, and that's exactly, you were talking about it, he's not been playing too well. He only had the op 1 round out of 8 so far, so this is the point of time where Guardian should end up going ham.
And the members of Luminosity, they posted up in the pretty usual positions. They do put a little bit more of an emphasis over here towards the A site this time around, as they're not going to take a big risk on just stocking for there for an eco. But at the same time, they're not able to pick up anything initially. Fallen has perched himself up here in this little area, but Zeus is going to have to press forward and spot him now, as there is going to be a big push coming out from NaVi. The bomb, however, is sitting back towards B, and actually Fallen, he doesn't realize that one player is stuck through him right now. That's going to be Edward. He's sitting inside of Suicide over here. Hasn't even checked for him, but I'm not sure if Fallen realizes that he's gone past him as well. So he's going to look for some players. Holding back for now. Going to wait and see if there's any more. And look at Flamey. So smart holding back, but nobody's seen him. Look, he's just going to be able to line up, picking up the first one, looking for the second. Now he's going to grab the third on a Flamey. Can he do it? Thankfully, no for the guys on NaVi, but still, big impact has been made now as he grabs the 2 for 1. And they get the intel. The bomb's rotated over here now, too. So everybody from Luminosity Gaming, they're going to be on the way. Try and hold this back off. And NaVi, they're frozen. They're not making any more forward momentum onto this A site with only 10 seconds left. They're not going to be able to do this. They've got to sit back and save.
Yeah, good choice in NaVi in saving it. There's no point in actually running forward when you have the op on Guardian. And Fallen, I mean, great play from him, just taking his sweet time. It was going to the point there where I thought that Fallen would just end up shooting him, because he actually, yeah, at this point, like, look at how many seconds he just sits there, finally seeing the last one there.
I think to a certain degree, Flamey just holds back there, assuming that, okay, if I don't go past this, if there is somebody up there, he's probably going to take the shot by that point. So that's smart from him, but unfortunately, the trigger discipline that comes out there from Fallen is way too strong.
He was spraying. He could have just, you know, at least tapped it a little bit. Could have potentially just end up getting one, but good spray work anyway.
He's using the old patch. Well, he still has it to a certain degree. So for NaVi here, again, as they are going to be dropped back down here, and LG will keep things very, very close and tight. They still are able to get themselves up with a full buy, but for Luminosity Gaming, they'll keep theirs very, very strong as well, using a lot of the utility they have going for themselves very early on in the round. No mollies or anything to use to hold back the members of NaVi later on, but they still have a couple smokes. In fact, they've just used their last one, so this is going to be troublesome, because NaVi are basically going to have an open book in a few seconds here to try and work towards it. However, the first bit of action going to be happening here in a second, and what a shot from Guardian, shutting down Fur just as he was about to do the opposite towards him. He finds the opening pick. However, he's been dropped very low down to 6 HP, and now the team's going to reverse it. They're going to move these players through the castle and get themselves out towards the B site.
Yeah, it's all going to be on Cold here. I mean, Taco's rotating back as well. So once Cold gets the first initial peek here, I mean, he's going to have to stay alive, because otherwise you're just going to end up giving NaVi full control of the B bomb site.
They're pushing out now, and Guardian taking it very, very slowly. This is that usual form of NaVi play, as they take pretty much all the time they would need. It got 2 the last time, but Flamey lining up that first opening shot. Cold goes down. More people from Luminosity Gaming are going to be on the way, but they'll be too late, as they've left no one to defend drops. So Seized already has full control of this. It's off the smoke back over there towards CT main, so they won't be able to come in here. And again, Luminosity, they make a big mistake on their rotation. They're taken for a run, and they've already made the save call here, which Zeus may be able to stop some of it, as he's going to be waiting, catches Taco with a nade out. He's not going to be able to stop. He's not going to be able to do anything to respond to this, and Zeus hunting for more as well.
Yeah, Luminosity again with the gamble, and it's not really paying off. I mean, sure, Cold had a good positioning, because if he had got the first one and just dropped down, maybe the remaining, or Taco at least from Connector, could have rotated back. But I think you're putting too much. Oh yeah, it does end up killing him. But yeah, Luminosity right now, they're just gambling a little bit too much. You have the firepower. Just trust in yourselves and just have people holding A, have people holding B. You don't have to gamble. There's no reason for that. Just stick your ground, help each other. Because if Cold would have had one more member there on the B bomb side, they could have potentially just flashed for him once you got the initial peak. Just flash in, would have gotten probably 2, and then fall back, and you would have ended up winning the round. Instead, you play like a little bit too aggressive, all by yourself, just taking the gamble with not actually helping out each other.
To a certain degree, this is actually somewhat ironic with how much NaVi are actually able to force these rotations. There was a game NaVi themselves were actually suffering from the same sort of issue like just about a week ago when they were playing against another European team. So now they're actually employing this to a certain degree against LG, and it's working out great. But the quick boost comes back over here onto the plateau area. They're going to be firing some shots down below the broken wall to make it seem like they haven't placed a presence, but you've already seen some of the players back up on top there shoot as well. So Cold's going to have to give up this position very early. They will, it looks like in a moment, send someone else to stack back up on top of there. But NaVi now committing to this one, sending some more players forward, and Guardian is going to look for the opening movement back over here through drop. If FNX peeks that, he's going to be a dead man, so it looks like he'll probably be holding outside of it for the time being and wait for their opponents to strike instead, which I think is going to be a very, very smart move.
Yeah, I mean, you see here, Navi's in great position on the drop zone there, and you see Zeus just trying to get cover or get some ground in the side hallway on the A bomb side, but you will see potentially just a rotate here coming from Edwards. So there will be a B hit.
And they'll be giving up all their attention back over on A. So LG will have to rotate into it, but Guardian, he's growing impatient now. He's going to drop down. Ooh, just barely missing the connection there in order to take down FNX. Legs him, brings him to 15 HP. Looking for a second, and he's not going to connect that either. It'll actually be Cold from the side of LG that picks up the first kill here, and FNX is sitting just on the other side of this doorway, waiting for the pop to come out. He's going to keep himself out of harm's way to a certain degree here for the time being, but now NaVi, they're actually flipping back a little bit here, and Fallen, they've picked up 2 more kills for this CT side. NaVi, they're making no progress at all. LG have stuck their ground, and so far this is a flawless round for them. Flaming, he's the only one left alive. He's managed to work his way inside of that little hallway there, but even he's going to get shut down, and what a round from LG.
Yeah, I mean, after the first initial member from Navi went down there, they ended up just trying to rotate back, but again, low on time. It's always the same issue with Navi when they're very low on time. We actually, okay, so we do see a tactical timeout coming from Navi here. Again, I don't understand this. This is something that we saw from Liquid as well, where they take the tactical timeout when they're going to be on a save, and I do not agree with that. You want to take the timeout as you have weapons, so you come in with the game plan in shape, right? Because otherwise, what's going to happen is, you know, if you end up having the tactical timeout when you're saving, you have essentially one more round to second guess your decision that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So,
that is exactly what we were talking about earlier in that Liquid game. And I mean, the counter rationalization for some of the teams tends to be that if they're, I mean, it brings them time to bring up any flaws, but exactly as you said, it also opens up a very big hole to second guess yourself. And that in Counter-Strike can be one of your biggest enemies. Is if you're unsure about something, well, you could waste some time and in fact to give your opponents time to move into a position to basically just shut you down and not let you do anything else. That's to some degree what NaVi did in that previous round. They lost one of their players, they try to rethink the strat to a certain degree, and they freeze up, and Luminosity just continued to line up shot after shot to shut them down and not lose a single player at all.
yeah, and actually Flamey is having kind of like a nitro game here on Cbble, where he's the only one doing work so far for Navi, and if it wasn't for him, then I think Luminosity would just be stomping right now. But yeah, it has been unpaused. Timeout has been finished. Let's see what they were talking about. I mean, yeah, we do see a deco coming in from Navi, which is a given. Very fast round here coming in on the bomb side.
They're going to press their way forward, but all these nades coming back in from LG. They're going to be holding off what was going to be the initial very quick push out through the plateau and through the broken walls as well. And the guys on Nautilus Sincere, but now they've got to fall back through. Guardian will stick around, maybe to test the waters a little bit, and hopefully guess any positions of players over by the statue or near Chicken Coop. However, he's not going to be able to find anything, and Cold is actually going to move into this position just below the plateau once again. Guardian's still experimenting with it, but a lot of the members of NaVi have actually come back to this now after originally falling back, and they're actually going to go for a bit of a waterfall down through drop. There are 3 players moving in towards that. Guardian now finally committing, moves himself over towards the boxes here, but it's still lined up way too heavily here from LG. The progress has to come from back over and drop, and there's going to be literally nothing. The best thing they do is they bring Taco down to about 8 HP, but even he's not going to die, and it's just C's now sitting over here by the doorway. And we'll be looking for at least 1 or 2 kills, but he's got nothing else to work with here. No armor, no utility. He's stuck, and it's just a matter of time before LG find him and shut him down.
Yeah, good job from Luminosity there, just staying alive, keeping all 5 members. I hope that actually no one ends up going down. We see here Stako all the way on the back of site, very low. Yeah, okay. It's okay, just losing 1 member. Yeah, I mean, Navi a little bit too slow there on their eco, where you saw Luminosity just rotating all the way back because they haven't spotted anyone in mid. You still saw Fallen there with the op all the way in connector, just keeping an eye out on mid and also the side hallway towards the A bomb side. So that's why you had 4 members from Luminosity just holding the grounds on the B. But here you go. I mean, this was the tactical time was for, right? For the next weapon round. So this is the first next weapon round. Guardian with the deagle only though.
And they're going to press their way forward here. It's looking like, again, just another B setup. Really investigating AL that often, and when they do, they're oftentimes running into trouble here, at least in these couple of previous rounds. The positioning here, from what I believe is going to be Taco there, to try and look out for any early aggression or get the noise, but not going to be able to catch it. Now Taco gets boosted up. He is flashed, but he lines up a pattern, almost able to find a kill, but that flash is great. Edward actually is going to line up 2 kills on both FNX and Taco. Flamey, he's going to find another one on a cold, and he was the only one that picked up a kill so far. Now they move in. Fallen's going to miss his initial shot, but first here, he finds one in the Guardian. Now they're going to get pushed into, though. Avi just clutching this, moving in, crunching it down. It's down to Fur. He's down at 22 HP, and sees if he tries, Fur this is, if he tries to come inside of the drop room, sees will be waiting for him. And for Fur, he's been boxed out, and this very fast, rapid take from NaVi is finally going to be able to give them another round.
Yeah, just brute forcing their way onto the B bomb site with 2 great entries. Yeah, and timing again for Luminosity, just about to boost, and that's when NaVi actually makes their push. And yeah, you know, that's where Edward came into play, and he ended up getting the entries. And then all of a sudden, you're in a situation for Luminosity where, you know, you're forced to retake, and for NaVi, they're not going to let you.
So now that NaVi finally have another round on the board for themselves here, we'll start to see those upgrades pour in. Guardian able to pick up the op here again, which, as we discussed before, is a weapon that he has not really been able to get so much in this matchup as of yet. But LG, with how strong these past few rounds have been and how inefficient the ecos from NaVi have been, Luminosity are still sitting on a nice pile of cash as well, and we can still see a very large investment from them, still not really missing anything and not going to be holding them back. It's all about stopping NaVi initially. That's slowed them down to a huge degree and has given LG really all this room to work with here in quite a few of these rounds.
Yeah, and that's the reason why they can buy this round. Is they had 4 members live the previous round, and now was saving. So again, up on Fallen is going to be the Guardian Fallen show.
But this is going to be the really last attempt here from Luminosity Gaming to stop NaVi from getting their foothold once again. And it definitely seems like the way we're pitching this here that LG have started to really just dominate this half, but NaVi still having a good lead here in 7 rounds on that T side. If they can bump it up to around 8 or 9, that's still pretty much part of the course here for T-sided Cbble. And to start off this round specifically, Taco finding that first pick up there on Edward, a very nice shot. Cole's going to follow it up with one of his own here, and this is immediately becoming that problem for NaVi. Is now they've taken all this time really to even get aggressive to begin with, and now they've lost 2 of their players. Guardian not having the best time as well. Finally, he's going to get a connection, and Flamey gets one too, so they even it back up. Fur getting into a battle. He's going to drop the bomb carrier. The bomb's down. Again, 15 seconds left. They've got to try to find a way to round back around and pick it up, but it's not going to be possible. FNX, he's going to drop Guardian. It's just Flamey. He's going to sit inside suicide steps, look for those kills at the end of the round. But once again, LG, they brought it down to such a low time, and they've just knocked it back out here. Maybe Flamey can survive the round, but if he doesn't, and if he actually goes down at the end of it too, this is really going to wreck NaVi's economy.
Yeah, again on NaVi, very low on time. They had to bomb all the way up in mid, and by that time, I mean, NaVi started losing members left and right. Had 5-on-3 situation, Guardian missing a lot of shots, yeah, and eventually just ends up killing him. But then you saw on the minimap there, yeah, that's when Cease goes down. Instead of going mid, he goes the hallway instead, all by himself. You have no idea if there's a Luminosity member there. And at this point, at this time, yeah, it was. You end up dying with the bomb, and then the round is over.
NaVi forcing up one more time here. Hopefully it's a semi-decent buy, but they don't really have a whole lot to work with to press themselves into this round now. It's going to be basically all the utility comes initially, and they even mess up one of their flashes too, which goes over the side, so that's not going to be great. An up shot from Fallen brings Edward down to 16 HP. He's already going to be out of the equation for a majority of this matchup. He has to rely on his teammates, and again, they're very, very hesitant, still trying to play it extremely slow after this early bout of aggression, but with all their utility gone, they're basically just looking at a dry entry now. They've got to try to burst their way out into one of these sites and hope the Luminosity don't catch them initially. Fallen picking up that first shot there on the Guardian. And again, that's just another player from NaVi being knocked out of this one. And for LG, they continue to hold it strong. They are even suspecting now that some players from NaVi have started to wrap around. And the worst part about this is a player that just went back over there towards A long, which is Zeus. He's sort of gone in there and seen there isn't a whole lot being played out at the moment. And they just continue to find these kills left and right. They have to play it a little bit more aggressively because right now Luminosity, they've figured them out. They're shutting them down on basically every avenue. There's going to be FNX though. He finally gets dropped. Unfortunately, Fur had also found a kill on a Zeus earlier, but Flamey, he continues to perform. He finds another pickup here, dropping Taco. But now they've got to make their way onto that site with 30 seconds left. Edward working his way out from drop. LG are actually not here right now. You can see Fur, he's taking a bit of a risk and hope that because of how slow they're playing this, he's going to have time to go for this rat play. He might actually be able to accomplish it because this can get him way back over there, back over towards the Broken Wall plateau, and from that point forward, he can shut them down. But that may not even be necessary, as Fallen already picking up one with 10 seconds left. Edward is forced to go for the plant here just to start the timer as he's in a 1-on-3, but in just a second, out comes Fur. Easy pickup, and LG will be taking the advantage here out of the first half.
Luminosity playing very smart there. Yeah, sure, Taco and FNX ends up going down, but Navi, it's not like they can contest the area anyway because they had no nades. And when you have no nades on the T side, you need to go fast. You can't just hope that you win the aim duels, because right now, I mean, you see here, Luminosity, they still have nades left to work with. So even if they were to get the bomb down, retaking with Navi and nothing to play for. So yeah, again, it hurts Navi when I think that was the third round actually where they end up losing the round because of no time, because they don't do a fast round. Two rounds when they end up not running out of time, and this last round where they do not go fast, they don't have nothing, like no nades to work with.
Not just this as well, but again, that top-heavy performance from Navi is still continuing here. Flamey basically has that Nitro half on the T side, leading with 22 frags. The next highest teammate is still Edward, and he's down at 8, which is almost 1/3 of the current kills from Flamey, which is definitely not good for Navi. Despite how close this game is, it's been him carrying it. And if he's not going to be as effective here on this side now, that's going to just allow Luminosity to dominate things right from the beginning. However, a great nade from Navi starts us off and brings both Fallen and Fur down very, very low. It'll be Edward jumping back up here, looking for the opening pops. He finds one, but FNX thankfully grabbing a response before anything else can be done. FNX moves himself into the site, but leaves him open, and Zeus with the dualies here. He's going to try and pick up some, but it'll be Flamey seized, and Flamey again finding 3 more pickups here now for these guys. Fur's the last one alive. They try to make some action happen here and drop, but the overall regular push coming back out through the plateau was an utter failure. And because of that, we're going to see Navi immediately tying things back up, and the game will remain very close indeed.
Yeah, I mean, Zeus's HE there, I think, what did it say, like 161 damage to 2 members. It was a slam dunk. With the dual elites, it's actually a very good weapon on the piss round to have on the drop zone, because you can just initially just spam it, right? For Luminosity, just trying off somewhat fast push towards the B bomb stop, but you saw the difference there in Navi. They had 4 guys with armor and they held it off perfectly.
LG making another fast push to get themselves over here, over towards plateau. It'll be Taco that leads the charge towards it, and Edward looking to resist it to a certain degree, but actually LG hold it back a little bit just in case they're going to catch anything early from Navi. Nothing being tossed out against them just as of yet, and they have gone for the big investment here onto the Tech 9s. Just a P250 for Fallen, because he does want to take it back a little bit, but because armor has been invested, that's not really going to save him all that much. And Flamey rips him apart initially. Fur quick on the response, but then Zeus, he's got smoke coverage for him, and he grabs one with the P90, moving out. He's holding W and left click there as he picks up kills left and right. Cold trying to find one more, but he's not going to be able to grab it. And overall, just a fairly typical round number 2 there from Navi.
Yeah, again, staying alive, very important. Just Flamey actually ends up going down, and then that doesn't really matter for Edward, because he's just going to drop his FAMAS and upgrade to an M4. And we have yet another, obviously another save, because Luminosity 4-spot the previous round to try and re-win the lost pistol round. So I think this is going to be a very straightforward round coming from Navi. We do have one flashbang on Fallen, so we're just going to see a very fast B-rush here.
And they try to work their way towards it here. Already seeing members of Navi shutting things down. Zeus picking up that first kill. 2 more following suit. Edward trying to do some work. He does run out of ammo, so he's got to hide inside the chicken coop to a certain degree, but in come the rest. The cavalry have arrived, and Navi now actually get themselves a good primer to try and hold a bit of a lead here in the second half.
Yeah, and since no one from Navi actually went down, Guardian doesn't really need to upgrade. He can just keep the FAMAS that he has, maybe play a little bit more aggressive, and if they end up losing this round, then you will see, you know, Guardian just picking up the up next round.
And this is a really great thing to have, because in a lot of our matches just over these past 3 days now, we've seen one of the biggest issues for many of our CT teams, specifically among the North Americans. The biggest problem has been controlling that CT-sided economy and an inability to do so just because they're getting crushed, or at the very least the rounds they do win, they only win it with 1 or 2 members. Their inability to really keep a good economy going has been just keeping them so low, and as soon as the Ts even pick up 1 round, it forces them to go for even a single or a double save in certain cases. It's not allowed them to do a whole lot of work, especially on a map here like Cbble, where you really do need that to try and pick up an early advantage in some of the rounds.
Yeah, like I said, you do see Guardian very aggressive here in the A hallway, having only 3 members for Navi defending that B bomb site. FNX playing it very smart, though, just to make sure that, because he knows that Guardian likes to push.
And Taco looking for his own way out. He does get the re-smoke back over there, so he keeps his options open just in case he gets pressured. He can fall back inside of that little tunnel there and escape, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Now that some more mollies get tossed in his direction to force him out. LG not able to make that progress onto the B side as of yet, but they're getting ready for it. And this is going to be happening very late in the round as well. 45 seconds left. They've got some time to work it, but their players are getting picked off here as well. It's almost an exact mirror of what we were seeing in a large portion of the rounds from that last half there. They get drop control for free. NaVi are going to let them have it, but they're ready for it just outside. They do need some coverage onto Edward. He's going to be to some degree a little bit open as soon as they wrap around, but thankfully Flamey's here. LG's FNX and Cold, though, did pick up 2 more kills, and Fur trying to hold this, but Zeus rolls back in there to drop. They don't expect this, and he's going to pick up 2 kills as well. The response is still coming in. This is brought down to a 1 versus 1 between Guardian and Fallen now. He presses forward, lines up the headshot, and he's going to shut it down. That's the round going by the way of LG once again.
Yeah, great job by Fallen, actually. You saw the same tendency yesterday versus CLG when they actually didn't go for the plant right away. Same thing with Fallen here. Guardian trying to get in position thinking that, well, okay, Fallen is going to end up planning right now, right? Instead, you have Fallen just turning around, walking around him, insta headshot onto Guardian. And again, yeah, great round by Luminosity, but again, NaVi with so much money, you see a complete full buy coming in from them here now as well, and the op.
And that's going to be the big key now. That Guardian's on the CT side, and he can hopefully work it a little bit better here, but so quick coming back out there. Fur almost messing up that chance to take down Zeus at the beginning of the round. He is going to be able to find it by shutting him out. More dropping down. Edward holds his ground for the time being, but they're coming in on the crunch now. However, LG slowed it down to a very large degree once they picked up that first kill, and they're giving the members of NaVi time to rotate into the site. Edward right now doing a fantastic job of holding his own line. Can't find that tap, though. The Guardian's going to come right back in there to find the trade after Cold takes him down. Fall looking for another one, but not going to be able to grab it. And Guardian that round picks up 2 and shuts down any chance for LG to get into the site and find that plant.
Actually, Guardian actually picks up 3, and that's the dangerous part of Guardian having the op on the CT side. He's so good on this map, as Sean was stating before on the couch. And for Luminosity, yeah, they got the entry, but then after that, it was just basically a massive wall standing in their way.
They're going to be downgraded now. Won't really be able to, apologies, go for anything super aggressive now with rifles and ops and whatnot in this round. It's just going to be those upgraded pistols that they managed to pull into this one. We've got the smokes and that HE's coming back against them on the side of NaVi, but at the same time, NaVi, they've got mollies, they've got everything they need to work with here, and it's going to be a very slow take now from LG as they basically just try to wait out everything from NaVi, hopefully bait out some more pressure as well so that they can have a cleaner entry once they've used a lot more of that utility from their side.
Yeah, one thing that NaVi does so good on this map is they're working together, right? You always see Flamey, Edward in the back line, or in the front line rather, and then Zeus just by the drop zone, taking the damage. He ends up going down, but then it doesn't really matter when you have these guys just playing it so good on the B bombs. They're very defensive. Just make sure that when Luminosity ends up going towards the side, that's when you make your move.
And there's a very good amount of trades coming in now from the side of NaVi. Picking up numerous kills here. C's shutting down one of the final 2 over there as he takes out Furt. Just going to be Fallen left alive now. And he doesn't really have anything to work with. There's been quite a few kills found, but there's no upgrade for him or anything. It's not like he dies close to one of his teammates and then finds a trade to pick it up. He's left sort of away from the rest of his team inside of drop, and because of that, NaVi are very easily able to shut him back down. The pause coming in now once again, I would assume this time for LG, as NaVi's mounted up a good lead, and LG are having a little bit of a troubling time getting themselves started here on this T side.
Yeah, I mean, it is their tactical timeout coming in from Luminosity, and look at the difference between Luminosity CT side and Navi CT side on how they hold B. Luminosity played very aggressive there. You wanted to put Cold up on the B plat to get the initial pick, whereas for NaVi they're playing very defensive. They're letting Luminosity come to them. They need to get the site in order to even win the round, right? Whereas for Luminosity, when NaVi was on their T side, they want to take the fight before the bomb site. So there's a massive difference there in how you approach the game, and NaVi again, you kind of see the same tendencies on their T side where they like to take it slow and methodical. Same thing on their C side. If you just transition that into their seat side, whereas they, again, like to take it slow and methodical. They know that Luminosity will not win rounds if they don't plant the bomb.
One way that LG is playing this to a certain degree does reflect a lot of the ways that they would hope their North American opponents would go up against them, like as if this was still the online phase. In a lot of North American teams, you would see someone try to get aggressive to find a response to an opening pick like that, which LG, it's not the problem of finding the opening kill or two to get them a sort of foothold within the site, it's the follow-ups that allow them to clear out the site, get the plant going down, and then continue to finish off the round from that point forward. Normally, if you're talking about North American teams, they would go for a peek to look for a response, and normally 9 times out of 10, that would lead to Luminosity picking up an additional kill, but that's not happening here. As you said, NaVi are playing it very safe, very held back, and because of that, they are able to hold their defenses here for most of these rounds so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you saw XTSM doing such a great job yesterday versus NaVi, because they did not let him, right? Even on Navi's T side, because that's what they want. Let's see here, again, Luminosity, tactical timeout right before their eco, so yeah, just strictly a P250 buy here, not even a nade, so this will probably be a fast one, just Guardian just trying to pick up some easy money.
And he's just running through him here at this point. LG, they have lined up their actual push to go towards the B site, which the defenses here aren't necessarily the best right now. NaVi have actually rotated quite a few players over either inside of the site connector or over towards A. It's just Edward here to hold things off, but he's actually pulled up some very impressive holds here so far. So him and Zeus will try to close it out. Edward messing up a tapping there a little bit on a cold, but again, he's now the last player alive, and Edward, with a little bit of a mistake there, throws a nade in Zeus's direction and takes him down. He's even laughing about it. So that was a little bit of a mess
Money
up,
nade.
but no harm done, as again, they've got enough money right now to force that rebuy onto him.
Yeah, we're not going to see an op on Luminosity. Actually, Fallen going for the Galil buy, so you can afford a smoke, Molotov, and a flashbang. So very smart coming up from him. And just looking at the mollies, basing off of where they're running to, they are aiming towards that B bomb site once again.
And this could be good too, because NaVi actually struggled to a certain degree of finding a good amount of utility to use against the members of LG on their own CT side to force them out of their default positions and whatnot. The guys on LG were holding very strong, so this became a problem for them. However, on the way in, FNX picking up a nice opening kill. Zeus with this nade does get a good response to it though, but Fur jumping back in there outside of drop, picks up an additional kill, shutting down Zeus. And now, for the first time in quite a while, they actually get full control of B and will be able to get this plant going. It'll be NaVi here on retake duty, moving their way back in, 2 going in towards drop, but that's not going very well at all. Cold just shutting things down single-handedly now, picking up those 2 kills. And Guardian, he's running, he's looking for that save.
Yeah, this is what I always refer to when you see your opponents taking a timeout, because what happens is that instead, you're doing a great job in just holding right now. You don't want to second-guess your positioning. That's exactly what happened to NaVi here, whereas they're talking about, like, okay, what do you think Luminosity will be talking about? Let's try and counter what they're trying to counter, right? It's like Inception. Or so then, is that instead of just holding like you have been for NaVi, they probably went like, well, they haven't really hit A single time this matchup. Let's just try and stack A here and just try to read what they're talking about. Instead, Luminosity playing it very smart, taking the timeout, and they're just like, well, let's just end up going B again. And then you saw NaVi with only 2 members there, very spread out, not really holding the way that they have throughout this second half.
Edward this time, he's going to go for the auto sniper buy, and that's going to empty out his money for most of the members of NaVi here. Going to be sitting on a very low amount of cash. Luminosity too, so it's a very important round economically speaking for both of these teams. NaVi, to be completely honest, this could set them up for victory at the beginning, but Guardian with the counter boost cold, he doesn't even realize that player's there, not even stopping, tries to press forward to get up in his face, but that's not going to work. Guardian picking up that first shot, however, LG now coming in like a storm, but C sitting just outside of Ali, a great position, picking up that first one, but rocks back around him too quickly, and Guardian jumping back out still, finding these trades for NaVi, picking them up 1 and 2, and now Fallen coming back in, trying to stop these players pushing out from balcony. Zeus finding the trade to that one though, shuts back out on Fallen, and then Guardian once again finishing things off as he picks up a 3rd kill that time and gives Nadas Vincere their 14th round.
Yeah, very good boost from NaVi there. I mean, it's very cheeky with the op at least as well. Ends up getting the first entry, and then Luminosity trying to rotate back as fast as he can. When he noticed that Guardian is all the way over there, that's when he saw the little click for Luminosity. So, well, Guardian normally plays A, just rush A. And yeah, actually you saw that Guardian actually tried to drop down from the little balcony area, ends up seeing the member, so he just backs up a little bit, and then he's just on the railing gets the frag.
And LG, unfortunately, they don't really have time to strategize anymore. They're trying to switch it up and play quickly, but look at these nades coming back in from NaVi now. Already shuts down Taco. Thankfully, he was the first one again that presses out here, and he's going to be the only victim there to those nades being pelted by NaVi. The rest are coming in so far. Fur has been the only player that's been able to find a kill. There is, however, a good smoke setup here from LG, so they are able to find a way into this site. And at the very least, they can try and find a plant, but look at Cold now pressing his way through, but C's catching that like a champion. Shuts down Cold before he can even get to a good position. It's just Fur now sitting behind Chicken Coop. He lines up 1 kill. He is being flanked, however, back over here towards the broken wall. And Guardian just so casually shutting it down, gets the final kill. And NaVi will now sit here on match point.
Yeah, and again, Navi's CT design on this map is so good. When they just play it so safe and just let them come to you. Luminosity, they have no response to it whatsoever. They try to go A, and then you saw the rotate coming in, and just Guardian is just doing work right now. And here we go, it's match point, or map point for Navi, 5 rounds. And Luminosity, obviously, with yet another force buy. They have all the nades again, and going B,
yeah.
You know?
No surprises there at all, but Navi, they're going to guess this pretty quickly, and with all the counter-response nades that are coming out here from LG, Navi are probably going to guess this. In fact, you can already see there's one player here, Guardian, he's already pushed his way all the way out through the mid-connector, and is slowly coming up behind these guys. They are going to try to play towards drop, which could technically work if they wrap it over towards the A site. In fact, they do pick up the majority of the first kills there. Guardian did find one, but he's been responded to and has been taken down. Seized, picking up another one here for Navi as well. and the bomb actually going back towards the A site. So what they're trying to do now is they've gotten control of the site, or they're trying to still make it seem like they are going B, when in reality the bomb is on its way to the A site, which is currently open. And this could technically work out here, as NaVi have now been outnumbered as well and are stuck in this B site.
Very smart from Luminosity. They know that once they kill Guardian, the A bomb will be open.
That's so unfortunate from Seized. Oh, he gets so close to taking down Fur, but missing both of those spray downs there. The first one gets blocked up by the wall, and the second one, the door, a little bit too strong for him to spray through. Both are here, however, and it looks like they are going to actually go. But oh, he does finish up there. Grabs Fur through the door, taking him down. So this evens it back up. Fallen missing his first shot, dropping down. Seized grabbing that kill on an F and X, and now it's just Fallen trying to hold things back up, missing another shot, trying to get up close here, grabbing that one on a Flamey. Now we're back around it, trying to see if he can take down Seized, and he's going to do it! LG closing out another round and keep themselves in this game.
Good job from Fallen. Missing the first initial shot there in a 1-on-2 clutch. Just ends up... That's what Guardians does, or Fallen does so great. It's those fast shots with the up. Yet again, you saw that getting put to the test, getting the first one 1-on-1, and then the last one NaVi player was very low. But yeah, Guardian ended up going down there, pushing the second round in a row. So NaVi had full knowledge on that Luminosity was just hitting the B bomb side. But then this time around, they were just ready for it. Kills him off, just ends up rushing towards A with the bomb.
LG actually will slow things down this time to a very large degree now that they've got the big guns back into their hands. We're still actually looking at 2 players on Tech 9s. That's going to be Taco and Fur, which is taking a bit of a risk considering NaVi are still going to be here on match point. However, from the side of NaVi as well, things are not necessarily looking too great. A majority of the players can't even pick up armor, let alone utility or a rifle, as everybody is stuck on Deagles and P250s. Guardian, the only player that really gets a really great buy, is going to be stuck over here with an up. And he's going to place himself back over there on Plateau to try and stop that exact big rush down B. But for the time being, it's not coming in. But Guardian does spot some players here, so this is probably going to give NaVi the confidence to stick around. While in the meantime, 3 players are going to be pushing out towards long A in a second to try and go for control of that site.
Yeah, again, Luminosity playing very smart. They notice the Guardian is over at B, but since they're not pushing fast, Guardian, again, just rotating back. B. Nope, bomb is still sticking around.
They could fall back at any point, however, but the problem becomes now is that LG, they've gotten a dangerous amount of control. Look at how much they've split the guys on NaVi at this point. Flamey's going to try to even it back out, but Guardian, he's inside if you're picking up those kills. Flamey finding a second too. This is actually a really great hold from NaVi, and now they're forced into making a B play. They did force these players off, but Guardian is here. He's inside of that CT main door, and you can tell from LG, they are a little bit scared to go across that for this exact event with it happening now. Guardian, though, he's pushing forward, and at the same time, LG are considering their move out too, so that perfect timing. And with 10 seconds left, they're going to go for the plant. Taco just clotheslines Guardian. He's going to be able to take him down. C sitting inside, but they're both spraying him. Now, they don't take him out as of yet. He's going to line up that first shot, looking for the second, and Flamey, he's going to be able to grab it. This closes things out for NaVi now, and they're going to take map number 1, 16-11 in their favor.
I really like the idea from Luminosity, just splitting B all the way from A, but NaVi did a great job there in holding, and it was actually looking very close for, again, Flamey. I mean, man of the match for me, 31 frags, ends up closing out. He was the only guy that was killing people from NaVi's end on their T side.
The only reason they even keep things competitive there on that first half to some degree. And to talk about that and a lot more of this match, we are going to throw things back over to the analysts, guys. Let's talk to Machine and the rest of the guys back over on the couch.
No, just unbutton.
Thanks very much. I was just like panically getting dressed for that one.
Yeah,
That was a quick one. Hey guys, welcome back to the theScore Love Couch, Casting Couch, whatever you want to call it. I'm Alex Machine Richardson. I've got some merry men to dissect. Love Couch, yeah.
Yeah, you all right back there, Sato? Okay. He's good.
My partner in crime, evidently, according to Twitter, as of late.
Yeah,
but
I see.
a game
Just
that
gotta keep 'em apart.
I hate how I can't hear what you're saying. I just hear like
How
this
can you
kind
not
of,
hear?
Don't worry
You
about
have
it.
an in-ear.
Yeah, but I can't hear anything because
That's not-
it's
what
just
we
like
say
all
isn't
this
feeding
is like
into.
noise cancelling. I'm just like it's just like this wall. But I'll scoot over here for a bit just to annoy the cameraman
here,
so I can
Alex.
hear what
So
you're
you know
saying.
the cameraman right now is just going, Alex, you
It's
asshole.
like, oh, this guy's an animal. Guys, games. Let's do our job for a second. Yeah, Brazil. I actually feel uncomfortably close to you now, Anders.
It's fine.
Is this okay?
feel-
This is nice.
Nice legs.
Thank you very much.
At least you're using the Ottoman, right?
Yeah, it's here for a
I feel
reason,
like
right?
we all should do that now.
This is okay. I'm not ruining anything here.
it's
So
fine.
let's just kick back, relax, and talk a little bit about this game. Brazilians started really strong. I mean, I think that we kind of went into that first half, the end of the first half, and we were like, this is competitive. This is competitive CS. And then, I mean, what happened towards the second?
NaVi won the pistol, and they just
That's it.
they built an economy. And even though LG was able to win a few gun rounds, just spread out, NaVi remained in control at all times because their economy was always so strong. other than that last round, which they still won. So LG actually did that connector split, which I was praising right before it went live. I'd never seen a team go in connector with those smokes prior to DreamHack, and they ran it again. Unfortunately, NaVi was on an eco, and they had about 4 people around the connector, so they ran into probably the most CTs possible that last round.
Yeah. I mean, it was just it was that combination that we talked about that would probably break them between Flamey and Guardian.
Yeah.
Too much to handle, and Flamey's still showing up.
That's exactly it, man.
Quite
He dropped
impressive.
a 30 bomb, basically.
Yeah.
He did?
Guardian also with the AWP, just getting frags, chipping away, winning them that last round. I was actually sitting here kind of criticizing him. I'm like, Guardian just insta-buys an AWP, doesn't even check his team's money, and everybody else got 2,000. He's just like, yeah, no problem. And they win the round. Works out.
Now, I will say this though for the Brazilian side, they did have a lot of fights where they end up in sort of advantageous positions and then they keep fighting, and it kills me. I get so angry watching it because it's. I mean, they had one where there was about 20 seconds left, and I think they were in a 3 versus 5, and they kept fighting. It was already the A-bomb side, and they did win that round, but it gets so scary, right? If you're playing someone like Guardian or someone like Flamey like that, 25 seconds is enough for them to get a couple of kills in and turn the round, back. And I just don't understand. Again, it's like, okay, if you fight in a 3-on-5, you probably still win the round like 85% of the time or something like that. But that last 15% or 10% or whatever it is, for a team like NaVi, they'll take that and it'll be really bad. So I just don't. They shouldn't do it, and I don't know why they keep doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, the discussion we had beforehand was about the defaults. We were saying that the Brazilians had a really solid default on towards the site. That's what you were saying, August.
Onto B site, yeah.
Yeah, onto the B site. And we saw that actually NaVi had a pretty solid response to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was it was a lot of very patient play. Flamey, Edward, between like the Flamey, Edward, Zeus combo. Zeus did a very good job of at least trading 1-for-1 a lot of the time on CT side. When they ran into drop, he wasn't just getting overwhelmed instantly, having no impact. And yeah, it really wasn't too successful for Taco either, pushing out on the plateau.
These are the smokes.
I mean, that was a bit of a rough, rough break for him. But they always seem to have like this. That was unfortunate because you see Flamey get picked off immediately. But the way that Edward and Flamey were playing there on that A site was very solid. Like they were always like one peeks, the other's hiding, and then it was just this like back and forth combo between the two of them to really like whittle down Luminosity before Luminosity could get onto the site. They weren't just dying for free without getting anything out of it.
Yeah, even in that last clip, after Taco died, they cut to the next part of that round. There's 4 CTs behind those smokes. Literally all of NaVi were waiting to retake the bomb site. No one stayed at A, holding the back. No one was worried about the flank. They had a very good read on the situation, and they retook it.
And that's what I was wondering about, when you turn it into that game of chicken, as they tried, Fallen tried in that last round to like, okay, we're going to do A, like we're going to try and mess it up. But it really does still seem like Luminosity focused a lot on the B site, and they didn't try and... Because there was that moment where I was like, oh, they're going to fake it, right?
Yeah.
Where they throw, and I thought for a second, like, oh, they're going back to A. Like, this is it, where they start to, like, sow the seeds of doubt in NaVi. Right. Because there wasn't a lot of that, right? It was a lot of, like, we're going to throw the smokes for B, and then we're going to go on to B. And then NaVi is just like, okay, well, then we're just going to rotate everybody over because we know that you're not going over to A behind us. So perhaps, now it's more depth that needs to get developed on Luminosity's side. That it worked for them at DreamHack Winter on Cbble. Now it didn't work here, so they're going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I mean, the point you made with your prediction, Sean, we were like, Luminosity maybe in 2 weeks' time, that Cbble could be going their way, but you called it going the way of NaVi. Are you still on 100%? I'm pretty sure the calls you've made on the desk, you're at 100% right now.
100%.
There's one call that will not be mentioned.
Please. It wasn't on the desk.
It was off air.
Exactly.
It was off air. But I mean, so far, 100%.
Karn heard you.
Who knew? Who knew that Sean Gares would be good at his job?
Oh, I thought maybe it was like a phone call or something. Like,
well, he just let them know. I made the call. I made the call.
This is a jab at Anders because Anders he was like, I'm 100%, and then we're like, okay, what? Like when? He's just like, just ask Card. I told him we go to ask Card. Card's like, I don't remember.
Slope was there and he remembers.
Oh, okay.
I got witnesses. Don't worry, I got witnesses.
Okay, guys, let's talk about Train. That's the second map. It was NaVi's choice. And I always did kind of dub it an interesting one because we don't see Train first picked by a lot of teams. However, we did discuss a little bit. We touched on it. That NaVi are, in your words, top 3 when it comes to approaching Train.
Yeah, and the secret about Train that a lot of teams don't realize, especially outside of maybe the top 5 teams on Train, is if you wait long enough, the op rotates back to inner, and there's 2 people inner, 3 people outside, and there's 3 spots they need to watch: Ivy, mid, ladder. So what you know is if you wait long enough, you take Brown Hall, you can split 5 versus 3 on the outside bomb site, and those are very favorable fights. All you need to do is make a small presence towards Ivy. The mid guy will probably actually pull towards Ivy. You go out mid. Once you're out mid, that makes an opening for ladder, and you just kind of collapse on the bomb site. And that's exactly what NaVi does. They're so good at misdirection on the outside bomb site and kind of forcing someone to rotate into something that they shouldn't rotate into, and then they flood out somewhere else outside.
Do you feel like they get a little bit too predictable sometimes, though, with this? Because it does seem like it tried versus TQM. It felt like NaVi were trying to make that happen, and they were going through the motions of like going into Brown Halls, making a presence early in the round, and then falling back towards A. But then Zipnix would always just push in behind them in Brown Halls. He just did it time and time again. Do you feel like sometimes it gets a little too predictable for NaVi?
I don't think it's predictable at all. It's literally based on the meta of the game where 3 people are outside, 2 people are inside. What they failed on doing, though, was holding T middle. TQM kept pushing T middle, getting kills aggressively in middle or ladder. Cajun would throw a smoke in ladder when they would go down ladder. They weren't forcing the smokes, Molotovs, and nades out of TQM the way they should have, and they weren't holding middle the way they should have. Like, several times I saw Guardian run away from middle with Cajun in middle, so he heard that information, and they were able to stack bomb sites because of that.
I mean, that's the kind of that was the discussion point, right? Is how quickly can you look at a game that's played and build something out of it? Like for Luminosity, they've got a train game with NaVi losing to look at from yesterday. Like that's like how much of their game plan is going to have changed from that? I mean, how much can you learn from one game on the map that you're about to play? Like, can you dissect anything from that? You know what NaVi are going to be bringing into it?
I think Navi's a team that's very stubborn in what they do, and they're going to keep doing what they're good at and what they like doing. They're not a team that will randomly decide to play really fast pace, you know, because it didn't work the day before. They're going to play the same game.
Guardian will, though.
Well, Guardian.
This is like the same thing that you say time and time again, August, where you're like, okay, Guardian's bored now. Guardian wants to go, and Guardian wants to hunt. Guardian gets hungry. That's kind of
Dude, you see it happen too, where he's just like he just starts going, right? And it's like, actually, it's time, it's go time, boys, and then just like starts running into people. Like there was that anti-eco at the MP7 where he's just like, brr, and then he doesn't have to push, but he's like, somebody's down there, goes in, okay, gets it. You know, it's just like.
And we saw examples of it yesterday on train as well.
To watch.
The last round there, where he just buys the AWP and they win the game, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean that's just what he does. On train, something that I'm confused about why it hasn't happened yet is that because of the way the skyboxes work on train, there's really only one spot right now, well, 2, where T's throw grenades from, and one of them is from the brown holes through the windows, and the other one is right outside T spawn, right? So those are the only 2 places you can throw smokes from because. You can throw smokes, I guess, into B, but on the A bomb side, those are the only 2 places you could do it, right? Because down from Ivy, there's a huge skybox that covers sort of the whole side of that map. You can't throw any smokes from there. But there is another place you could do it from, which is from sort of, if you go down the stairwell from brown holes to right outside B, there's a whole ceiling there with windows on top of the ceiling, and you can throw smokes through there. Nobody does it, and I actually think that would, especially for a team like NaVi, that would give their strategy a lot more depth. I wish more people would do it because, again, if the smokes are coming from different directions, it's a lot more difficult if you're on the CT side to know exactly what's going on.
I mean, you have to JavaScript to get those in?
Yeah, well, you can do some of them without, but if you want to make them perfect, especially if you want to make them look like they're the same smokes from A, you have to jump script them, yeah.
Right, okay. So we'll talk a little bit more about our predictions when we do come back from a little bit of a segment. We have, of course, a little quick look at what NaVi were thinking coming into this.
I'm Guardian, my name is Ladislav Kovac, playing for Team Natus Winster. First game is always about who's doing the most mistakes and then who's using them against the opponent. We have to play our game and then we will see. Group with CLG, Luminosity Gaming and question mark will be quite hard, but getting to the finals should be about our mindset. So if we will have the mindset of the champions and not the losers from the beginning of the game, then we could get to the finals. I would like to match up with Fnatic. We haven't beat them, so yeah, I would like to beat Fnatic at this event. We changed our lineup in April, I think. So since then, we have won some huge events like IM San Jose. So I would say we grew a lot. So hopefully we can finish our year by winning this event.
Confident words from Guardian in that one. That means we kind of have to set our sights on how we feel this best of 3 is going to transpire. Folks, you guys didn't believe in Luminosity on Cbble. Is this going to be a similar story? You did, but you didn't really, did you? Was it 2-1?
No, I did. I think Luminosity is one of the most interesting teams to watch. I think they have super cool players. So yeah, I thought they could run away with Cobblestone. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I threw you in the same boat as these NaVi believers.
Well, I should have kept my mouth shut. I would have been much smarter. But no, I thought they could do it. Yeah.
Okay. So what did you think coming into Terrain? Do you think are we going to see the third?
No, my prediction was going to be like a 2-1 for NaVi.
Yeah.
Because I think even if we go into Mirage, I think NaVi is a ridiculously strong team on Mirage as well. But yeah, I think this will now finish 2-0, I imagine, on Train.
Okay. Same kind of feelings for you, August?
Guardian's hungry.
He's going to feast on some Brazilian food tonight.
Brazilian barbecue, man. It's good stuff.
It is, indeed. now
It is
I'm feeling hungry
really,
again.
really good.
we know. Sean?
Well, this is like an ESEA thing. I mean,
Yeah, where's Raffine?
Where's
Is
Craig?
it Raffine? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Where's Craig?
What was
the
that
Brazilian
one
barbecue?
clip of Fifth at Brazilian Barbecue from a couple years ago?
That is a really
was
good
that a couple
clip.
years
What
ago?
does he say in that clip?
I will. I hope you guys heard that.
I have no doubt that
More
they
than
heard that.
anything.
Oh my
okay.
god, I can't believe he said
Two
it.
members, but for NaVi, I'm desperately trying to keep this boat
Alright,
afloat.
I choose Navi. Let's
Thank
go
you
on.
very much, Sean. Let's get this
Get on
camera
with the
off us and get
segment.
it back on the man, the myth, the legend that is Fiflaren. He's joined by Blue, who's rocking the red today.
Doing Fiflaren.
All right. Thank you very much,